Hello everyone, once again welcome to this spoken English class, and today in this video the lessons that we are going to learn is again one of the most important language skills, which is all about the writing skills. Now let me remind you once more in learning this particular skills, that is writing. Let me bring this to you once more because this will help you where we stand and move on to learning these writing skills will be much better for understanding. Four main language skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now in doing so, I have divided into two parts: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. First part, listening and reading. It's all about receiving or receptive skills. When you listen, you're receiving. When you're reading, you're receiving it, right? The second part is writing and speaking. What you have in your mind, you're expressing by writing. What you have in your mind, what you feel, you're expressing by speaking, right? Now let us come to writing skills. So writing skills comes in the second part, which is nothing but output or carry out the actions that you have in mind. What is all about writing skills and what we ought to know? Writing is an art of expressions of thought and views. So what you have in mind, you are expressing. And we need to organize well. When you start writing, make sure you do systematically or order. And the writing technique should be like the chef who knows variety of preparing foods, right? So, and correct measurement is done and variety of ingredients are involved or are good. So once it is well prepared with the correct measurement, the taste becomes yummy, right? Delicious. So the writing should be something like that. You have to organize well, write out outcomes of that. When the reader reads, it should be delicious as that delicious food. Right? So must enjoy and learn from that. It will be different. In writing content, there are certain, it has certain level, academic writing or normal writing of all this. So you must get familiar with that and read and do in which level you can do. And also in content of the writing, again, it is a difficult task. It is a challenging task because it demands your correct grammatical, fine vocabulary, and also sentence construction. These all are actually challenging parts that you must know in your writing. Now let me go further based on that. Developing writing skills. So these are just have 9 points which are given as the guidelines for you. So learn to write a good sentences. So it is obviously needed that whenever you form a sentence in writing, your sentence will be good one, attractive and meaningful. So make your writing more conversation. So when you write, after writing all the article will be read by someone, so reader must feel that. So must motivate something. And along with the question is again very important because that will impact him more or that will impact the reader more. So it's very important that your reader feels and that brings the enjoy of reading. And use paragraph style of writing and the whole so it is needed that you separate the paragraph, otherwise whole writing of in one page fully will be boring for the reader. So need to aware of that. And transitions or the shift from one paragraph to another, is either shifting from one paragraph to another or one sentence to another should be coherent, should be in order. Okay, you should make sure that you don't mess up of all this. If you're explaining for just one point, finish up within one paragraph like that, in short, otherwise, all according to what is needed. Same thing for the sentence. When you shift from one sentence to other, it should be in order. It should not just rough or rough writing. Yeah. So learn the use of voice. So when you actually write creative way of writing, it automatically comes like giving a voice and try to see the sentence, you read it again and again. You when you do all this automatically actually speech or your voice or speech comes on. That's good. Good practice of for writing. Use proper punctuation, obviously, correct grammar, spellings, and develop a fine vocabulary. These all are needed. And practice daily. And try to improve yourself alongside it. So learn from the other good writers and do yourself and try yourself to write in writing. So apply a structural process like you plan out the particular topic and then and start writing out and do editing and also the formats all about the structure of the writing. So what I'm trying to say here is like by just once writing is not enough. I mean you need to proofreading. Right? Once you're writing, okay, finish. Read through again and again. So in doing that, you're doing corrections in out everything you do, either with the words or sentence or all this. So need to work on again and again. So you come up with the best writing, the best way of writing. So that is needed. Aware avoiding slang, jargon, fancy words and abbreviations. These are again need to aware that you don't use. For example, let us come to slang words. I have American slang, British slang, Australian or Canadian, international. These all words should be avoided in writing. And I have what is a jargon? Jargon basically means like, for example, it has to do with the professional things. Let us say, here I have one example. For doctors and nurses will have particular words actually to be used, where most of the average of the readers will not be able to understand. So nothing wrong of using, but yeah, if you can explain it in different ways, it's better. But if you are like writing this one to a nurse or doctors on particular things on medical the aspects, that's what I no problem. But all people from all angles, from all different fields, all common people are going to read your article. So it's good that you explain it, or even if you use better to explain. For example, you are writing about a political or politician. So in that, there's particular terms used. So it's good that you use if it is rather needed, but in the way that people can understand or explain it about them. Other like the religious aspects, even on religious too. So technical term they're using for it in a professional way. Make sure that you make it different, easier way that your readers will be able to understand. What happens is when the readers read and so many like kind of technical terms and words which they are not able to understand, which the readers are not able to understand. What happens is that deviated, that lose the confidence of reading and lose the interest of reading. So that should not happen. Use only when it is needed, but explain it if it is really difficult. So here, fancy word is again is a big word and which is difficult to pronounce. So that is all about fancy word. So it is not necessarily use it. Okay, floxino, signification is a 29 letters, and using this, the meaning is actually simple, right? The act of deciding that something is what. So these are simple meanings, and in fact, it's interesting to know that this word floxinosinihilification is one of the 6 longest word in English. But no need of using of this kind of fancy word is not it. And here are one more word here, agathokalosical, right? 17 levels up there. So we are made up of both good and bad elements. So what I'm trying to say is either you use a slang, or slang should be avoided as much as possible. And this jargon is another thing that you can use professional way but you need to see that where it can fit in exactly, or it is okay, appropriate, okay, understandable. You need to see through that, okay, and like this fancy words thing, another we need to avoid. Otherwise, when like short, like you're using so much of fancy words, jargon, where readers are not able to understand. What is the use? Make them struggle like that. So what happened is people who are just reading as skimming reading that will never like it actually, and give a loose interest of reading actually. So concern here should be more on conversational. Make your writing or your articles should fill the readers. That is what the more that should be your focus, right? And another conjunctions, we all know this. There are many conjunctions which are very important in writing, particularly when you connect two sentences, you use conjunction rules. But make sure that you know how to use it. Otherwise, again, mislead and give the different meanings and can mess up. So make sure you use this correctly. Now, writing content structure. Again, it's very important. I put up this one as an example here. Response to pandemic situation. Introduction part. So normally introduction part should be very attractive, should be very good, and you don't have to mention everything. The introduction part actually it's slight touch up of all your body and all your conclusions actually. So introductions it shows the glimpse of your body or explanations, and also the conclusions part actually, how it started, how it ends actually. So glimpse of that in brief should be shown in introduction part itself. Explanations should be the explanations about the topic, everything possible explanation is given there. And conclusion is where either let us say, see for this particular topic, response to pandemic situation. So conclusion should be that actually. You can include this response statement in the body or explanation itself, but conclusion is where you have to use more in more effective way. So keep in mind when you write, introduction part should be very good, must be very attractive, because the reader normally they start with introductions, and if the reader finds introduction is good and kind of mesmerize idea, put up the words, the sentence, and what you're going to write, then obviously reader will have interest to read. Otherwise, just end up there itself, will not go ahead of reading. So need to aware of that when you write in the light of the readers. The reader will like or not all this again. Write, since this is your own, so creativity is what needed. So at the same time, it needs time to think through and come up with good writing. So it's very important. So let's do it. Is what I put up here is the right few things about importance or benefit of knowing English language. Okay, this is what you can just try out. I just mentioned here not less than 3 lines, but you can still do more things. Okay, so thank you. Hope you have learned something about writing skills. So keep in mind that in writing, your introduction should be good, and body structure. I mean, the body or the explanation that you give should be clear, and whatever you're using a paragraph and a transition or a shifting from one paragraph to another paragraph, one sentence to another, everything should be in order, should be, and also using of punctuations, the using of grammar, sentence construction, everything should be good. So actually, once you are writing it, or once you have finished writing, it's good to have a proofreading, or you can read again and again and chalk out whatever is needed, whichever is not needed, or suppress it, and then have the clear cut or have a good writing content of what you are trying to say. So it's also good to good to ask someone to read through and help you to correct or do things about editing like that. So thank you. Hope you have learned.